If you are a midlife woman or you're coming up on this powerful season of growth, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Unraveling Together. I'm Samantha Graber, also known as Dr. Sam, seasoned holistic health physician and woman in the midst of midlife's unraveling. I created Unraveling Together to help a woman understand what is happening to her during this season. In a sea of changing hormones and moods, we need a space for safe exploration, a space to enter unencumbered and where we won't be judged for our pasts nor for our anxieties about the uncertain future. Unraveling Together is the place to talk about the things we just don't talk about, but so desperately need to as women. Together we untangle ourselves from our pasts and weave a beautiful web for a future we so deeply desire to bring to life. We do this firmly planted in the here and now. And we do this through doing the work. And we do it together. You are never alone as you navigate the midlife waters. I'm here right alongside you, and I bring friends. Grab a cup of chai, water, tea, or joe, and let's dive in. This is part 1 of a 5-part series. I have something to share with you, heart to heart. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I awoke in a cold sweat the other night, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Now, this wasn't a hot flash. At my stage in life, one has to consider that option. This was something totally different, and it has haunted me ever since. One of my biggest fears was happening right in front of me in my dream. It was such a vivid experience. This particular fear is finding out that someone I know has died from complications of one of the many diseases the work I do can reverse and even prevent. I have powerful, actionable information to share, and I feel like I'm barely being heard, like I'm not able to get in front of people, no matter how often I hit the publish button. In this dream, I would see someone in obvious distress. I'd reach out, then come up against this thick, transparent wall. It was as if I was in this thick glass container. People could see me, but they couldn't hear me. It was so bizarre, and I just couldn't shake the feeling. So as I often do, I started writing, getting my thoughts out on paper. I still handwrite most of my notes. I like the texture of paper, its tangibleness. I don't know, I guess I'm old school. What came to me through my writing, like a big aha moment, was that most people don't know how their body works. There are countless things at work every single second, much of which we cannot control in any way, shape, or form. But there is one thing we have 100% control over. Well, close to 100%. It is our metabolism. Most people don't know what their metabolism really is and all that it does. It is in charge of so much more than just your weight. Your metabolism runs the show, but it's a mystery to most. And conventional wisdom has had it wrong for so daggum long, no wonder there's so much confusion. So I am going to demystify the metabolism for you in this little series I'm calling, wait for it, Demystifying the Metabolism, why it slows down in midlife, and what you can do about it. No detox in a box required. This is part 1 in that 5-part series. Have you seen my metabolism? I could swear I just had it. When I say metabolism, what comes to mind? If you're like most folks who answer this question, you thought of something to do with weight loss. Weight loss, fat loss more specifically, is just one part of the metabolic puzzle, and a teensy one at that. When it comes to weight loss, again, fat loss more specifically, we've had it all wrong. Not by choice. We do what the so-called experts have told us to do, and it does not work. Advice like, eat less, move more, or eat every 2 to 3 hours to stoke the metabolism. Like I always picture a fire pit, where you gotta like poke it and it stokes and it gets flames again. It's not how it works. Or here's another one. Burn more calories than you take in. Now that has some truth to it, but it's not a simple math equation. And here's another oldie but goodie. Avoid cholesterol and saturated fat. They clog your arteries. Not true, y'all, not true. And there's so many more, but that's a few for us to chew on for a moment. All in all, we've been hoodwinked by big food and their marketing guns for hire. I want to dial it all back to the basics and prepare you for rolling into 2022. My goodness, I cannot believe I just said that year. But I want you to roll into 2022 and proclaim it as the year you end the war with your body. How does that sound? No more diet roller coaster, no more deprivation, no more negative body image. Yes, more food freedom. Yes, more enjoyment from food and social gatherings. And yes, more self-love and radical self-acceptance. You deserve to be loved by you. So in this series, I aim to demystify the metabolism and introduce you to the tools to help you upgrade your metabolism with real food. No pills, powders, potions, or salves anywhere on the menu. Seriously, no overpriced supplements required whatsoever. Now let me say something here. The end goal is not skinny in my book. The end goal is metabolic health. We come in all shapes and sizes as determined by our genetics, just as whether we have curly hair or straight. We can be metabolically healthy in every single shape and size to a certain extent. When you're healthy metabolically, you are headed toward a long and vibrant life. That is the end goal. Now, if you're just looking for skinny, I'm not your metabolism maven, but please do stick with me, because maybe you'll change your focus. Metabolic health comes down to healing our cells. When our cells are sick, we are sick, and very often fat. It's just how our metabolism works. For simplicity's sake, because it's quite complex, we will define metabolism as everything that happens in the cell ultimately producing energy. When your cells are producing adequate energy, you feel incredible. And you don't hold on to excess weight. It's that simple. The moment cells get sick or start preventing the good stuff from getting in and the bad stuff from getting out, your energy tanks and you feel like junk. And you'll hold on to weight. Nothing will make a lasting difference until you make the cells functional again. Until you make them functional, nothing will work. Now I hear it all the time. I'm doing everything right, but my scale isn't budging. Or my metabolism has slowed to a snail's pace, and no matter what I do, it won't kick in. I've got some downer news. No diet will make a difference until we heal ourselves. Not vegan, not keto, not paleo, not even the Mediterranean diet, and certainly not the heavily processed meal replacement shake/bar combos. Nothing. In order to speed up the metabolism, you must heal your cells. Like just about everything in life, it is easier to do something when we understand what is at work behind the scenes. Now for the good news. You can do it, and quite simply. I see so much confusion when it comes to our metabolism. What it is, what it does, how we can speed it up. Like speeding it up is some magical setting on the human body. Like on your washing machine, like the spin cycle, how fast it goes. It doesn't quite work like that. But I always laugh when I hear speed it up, because we just are demanding things that just are inconsistent with the reality. So I created this series after that dream because I just could not shake the aftermath. I've done this to help you understand just what your metabolism is and how to make it work for you instead of against. At the very least, you'll walk away with a better understanding of how you work on the inside and some simple things you can do to help your metabolism do its job so you can focus on other things in life than your weight. Can I get an amen? Amount of precious time we squander at war with our body. Oh, it's just so much of a resource lost. All right, so I've broken the strategy down into 4 steps. First, let's address what is at work. Why do we get fat? Why does fat accumulate in certain areas and not others? Oh boy, this could be a rabbit hole for yours truly. Now I will stick to the basics, but note, My inner geek girl wants to go hunting for rabbit. I won't let her, I promise. Sticking to the plan, all right? We accumulate fat because our biochemistry is out of whack. There are many, many, many factors at work, but it boils down to glucose and insulin and leptin and inflammation and a buildup of metabolic waste. This is the body doing its very best to wall your system off from the toxic buildup. And it does this walling off process with fat to protect the brain and other life and death organs. Whew. Hey, I'm going to give myself an atta girl. I think that was pretty succinct, especially when my inner geek girl wanted to strut her stuff around with all sorts of big words. But think about it from the body's perspective. Your body is so innately intelligent. When this toxic load is building and building and building, would it make more sense to put it in your heart and lungs and the like? Or to take those toxins and stash them where they won't interfere with life and death stuff? If you're saying, ooh, Dr. Sam, the second one, you are correct. Gold star. All that extra weight is these toxins that have accumulated in the receptor sites of your cell, inside the cell, between the cells. That's really all that fat is, like a buffering agent against the toxins, at least for our purpose in this conversation. I want to make a point to say that sometimes the normal, healthy chemicals in our body can be toxic when too plentiful. Glucose is one of those. At too high a level, it is detrimental, ergo, toxic. Same for insulin. Same for a lot of other things. By midlife, there's been ample time to amass an appreciable level of these accumulated toxins, much of which just stays put in the cell. These toxins can compete for receptors that our critical hormones need to dock into so they can do their work. Think insulin receptors and estrogen receptors, for example. Add to those the endocrine disruptors that you may have heard of. Endocrine is science speak for hormones, which I suppose is science speak for your body's internal communication system. So in order to release the weight and speed up your metabolism, you've got to clean up your internal environment. You've got to make the cell healthy. Now, FYI, you will not find the solution in a package unless it's packaged by Mother Nature. Now, there is a good place to start. I want you to look at the human body through this lens. Your body is a brain transport system. It will do anything it has to do to protect you, HQ, that's headquarters, including make you fat. And it will do it all day long, every day, until the underlying biochemical toxic dump is fixed. And that is what I'm going to help you understand in this conversation. Every single program or course I teach addresses this first. You've got to clean the system up before the cells can heal and start to drop the weight. Too many put that old cart before the horse when it comes to weight loss. While I'm at it, have I mentioned as of late that I don't like the term weight loss? It's too general and focuses on the wrong thing. But alas, it is the lingo people are using, and if I want to be visible online, I have to at least address it. So back to the topic at hand. The main way you know your cells are healthy is you have great energy and not the caffeine-dependent kind. If you don't have great energy that you should or once did, it's one of the first signs something is going on in your cells that is making them sick. Your body can adapt for quite some time. It is unbelievably resilient. But when it hits that tipping point of sorts, it starts to signal there is a problem. Midlife often coincides with that tipping point. Signals start out somewhat faint, then increase in intensity and increase, and then we have no choice but to notice that we have a problem. Now, in true form, which I like to give a little animation to things, I imagine the conversation between the body and the brain goes something like this. Body taps the shoulder. Hey, I've got an issue here, boss. And the brain, aka the boss, I'm busy now. Can you take a pill? The body again shakes the shoulder. Boss, things are getting mucky around here. Can I get a minute of your focus? And the brain again, with a rather snarky tone. Listen, I've got too much on my plate right now. This gal is making me crazy with all she's got me doing. So eventually the shoulder shaking turns into a solid whack from a 2x4 to finally get your attention. The body has been trying to let you know there's a problem, but all too often, the message has fallen on deaf ears. I want to restore your hearing. When I'm talking about metabolism, I'm talking beyond looking good in your clothes or naked even. I'm talking about having limitless energy. I mean energy on demand to do not only what you need to do, but what you want to do. No prescription required. When you come at it from the cellular health point of view, that will happen. Now, there are 4 steps to this process, and I will dive into each one of them in separate parts of this 5-part series. Join me for part 2 in our 5-part series, Demystifying the Metabolism, Why It Slows Down in Midlife, and What You Can Do About It. No detox in a box required. In the conversation around step 1, I will show you how to clean up your cell's internal environment, in turn, jump-starting your very own metabolism upgrade. Thank you for joining me on the Unraveling Together podcast. Would you help a sister out and do me a quick favor? If you gained any value from this episode, please give me a 5-star rating on iTunes and leave a comment so others can more easily find us. Now, if you can't leave a 5-star rating, I'd love to know why. This podcast is a work in progress, as am I. Please send your feedback to hello@unravelingtogether.com so I can improve the listener experience. And if you want to dive deeper into exploring your midlife experience, consider joining the Unraveling Together community of rebellious midlife women. It is there that we roll up our sleeves and do the work. It is at the midlife point in our lives we face a critical choice: step into our true selves vibrantly with purpose, or shrink into the invisible shell society wants us to inhabit, drugged up and burned out. I know my choice, and if you've listened this far, I have a good idea yours would be the same. Unraveling Together is a resource hub, roadmap, and online coaching group curated by yours truly. Unravelers, that's what I call us. We are thinkers, we are doers, we are collaborators. We are navigating this time called midlife together, for we truly believe we are stronger together. And when unravelers are in need of an assist, they have all of us there alongside them.